You are now listening to the Insomnia Show, a podcast that focuses on celebrating all types of art and talking to artists about their passions, their journey, and making an impact. Uh, well, uh, I want to thank you for coming on today. I'm kind of excited to get talking to you and just get your stories, get your vision, just kind of get to know what inspires you and what you're aspired to do, I guess. So I don't know. For starters, what do you do, Francisco?
Well,
What's your deal?
my deal, I would say I'm kind of all over the place. Well,
Yeah,
first off, I want to say, um, it's an honor, and I'm
thank you.
very glad that I could be part of this. Hopefully, I don't mess up because this is, I guess, my
Yeah,
first podcast interview.
yeah.
So, very thankful for this. Um,
No worries. Thank you.
but what I'm doing currently is I'm starting. I guess it's all tied together in a way, but it's called the ETP projects. Or yeah, uh, I don't want to really say what it stands right now because it's more of a inside joke.
Sure, sure, sure.
I mean I will come up with something that everybody would know, but in the sense of right now, um, it's just something more personal.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
but and like there's some couple people who would understand it. I'm pretty sure I've already told you
Yeah,
on a private conversation. But that's that. And so what it is pretty much, it's besides what I'm doing right now currently, it's a mixture of videography, photography, and the clothing.
yeah,
So like I said, it's kind of all tied because it's something I all enjoy. Um,
for sure.
and so I've been doing that more lately. Again, like I said, today would have been the day I would have received my my last two cartridges processed film.
We're filming this on Thursday, by the way. So
Oh,
Thursday this week.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
last week.
Uh,
Yeah.
and I got bamboozled. I really don't trust USPS, right?
USP. Is that
Yeah,
what it is? Is it US mail or
yeah,
who do you
yeah.
play with?
The thing is, I also
People
got
trust-
it like I got like express like
Yeah,
priority, and so it was like a 2 day thing. They
they
done
don't
goofed
do.
me.
They left you hanging.
Yeah, I was really
The frustration of a creator, a content creator.
I
You know.
I I would say out of every, I mean, again, I'm still learning. It's a
Sure.
process, but in the sense of the Super 8, I guess, because that's what it is. If anybody wants to know, I feel like if it's anything with film, or analog, I would say, to be more specific with any thing, you really need to plan it out, like really plan it out,
Sure.
because uh, I would say we had an idea and we kind of discussed it and everything, but in the sense of when it came to the process, we didn't buy enough cartridges, or we didn't, like everything wasn't set correctly, and so everything was off balance. And with the current state of the world and how the pandemic has hit, it's really hard for me to do all of this, especially because where I send my film, it's a very small place in California,
Mm.
and again, to begin with, it's already small. It's like a group of like 6, 7 people, and
We are based on in Washington, by the way, for context.
my bad. I feel like I need to mention this more. So yeah, so um, it's like 6 or 7 people, and like two of them or three are the actual processing, like the
Sure.
chemical. And
Oh,
so
the
when
chemical stuff because you gotta put like dark room and
yeah, it's so it has to
yeah,
go, yeah. And the thing is, because there's only three, like 2 or 3 people, and the pandemic hit, they're only allowed, but for a certain a time, California, like closed all developing photography, just all that
Sure.
analog, uh, for a while. So my film was there, but nothing could have been done. Like they couldn't do anything until like things were clearing up,
Sure.
which I'm grateful that things did, because I also had other film from my 35 millimeter. So another project that I guess I'll talk about in a little, but all that stuff was just in a hold for a while, and
Sure.
uh, again, since we were in school and before the pandemic hit, we still had like 3 4 months before graduation. And so I was like, thinking things like, oh yeah, in these last couple months I'm gonna get more people filmed and all for our senior film, which that's what it is. uh and
But then, boom,
we
good
got
luck.
we got we
You
got
get you get
bamboozled.
a year-long vacation.
Yeah, and it made it very very hard for me,
Sure.
in a sense of I have a lot of notes, like a lot of
Sure. Sure. Sure.
maps and stuff that I in my wall that I wrote down, like ideas how to make this work in the sense of during the pandemic, everybody at home.
Yeah.
But every idea that I came up with was a risk that I was taking,
Of
in a
course.
sense of uh it could either get damaged or the camera can get broken. Like I was planning to send my camera to, Spokane area because I live in Walla Walla in
Sure.
Washington, which is like
All
two
about
hours,
that
which is like
part
two
in
hours and a
of the
half.
Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, and there's about like 10 to like 10 people in Spokane that
Yeah. You want
if
to
I
get the film.
yeah, and then I would have gotten a good portion, and then a little up there was like more people. But as I thought about it more and I talked to a friend of mine, he just brought up the fact that it's a possibility that my camera or the film whatever can get damaged in the process.
Of course.
And if that happened,
When
then
you're developing, yeah, you don't have that much equipment. You gotta be careful. To give
yeah.
a little bit of context here, this project, if I'm not incorrect, is one of his first video projects, and it was a kind of production in what's it called on film, uh, with basically highlights from last year or school year, perhaps better said. So yeah, so those have been the struggles of trying to keep up with the projects during the pandemic, and so well, if you don't mind switching topics a little bit from what you're doing to more like where that came from, uh, what would you say are your inspirations, or where do you draw, where do you feed yourself from? What drives you? I don't know. What made you
Oh,
say, "Oh, I want to do this"? Let's
oh
get
man,
into that. Let's get into that juicy subject.
there's a lot, dude.
Yeah,
I won't sugarcoat it, but I will try to make it short. So, because I
sure.
can go forever.
Yeah,
But like I said, like all these things that are connected in once I would call it a solid project,
sure.
come from different things, from filmmakers to photographers to just even music gives me an inspiration. And I would say one you've heard me say multiple times, and a lot of my friends probably would know. Um, my favorite so far, one of my favorite film directors that I get my inspiration of
Oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course.
Super 8 and all that is Wes Anderson. He's by far one of my favorite just filmmaker. It just the way he makes stuff is just it's beautiful. It's unique to his own self. The colors that he puts to his
Yeah,
movies are just wonderful, and I highly recommend if you haven't watched Fantastic Mr. Fox,
sure.
uh, Isle of Dogs, and Moonrise Kingdom. Is that what it? I hope I said it right.
Rise Kingdom.
Moonrise, yeah,
One of my
and
personal favorites too. He kind of
yeah,
led me on to that stuff.
and I there's still some that I need to that I haven't watched and I'm planning to watch, but recently I don't know the current state, but I know he's dropping a new movie pretty soon. I heard at least
Yeah,
in
yeah.
July. Well, it was supposed to be in July, but again, I haven't heard anything.
This,
Um,
yeah,
with some very special guests,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and so I'm very excited for that. Um, but another I would say another inspiration recently that's gotten me in the sense of what I'm creating right now. Uh, it's an artist, musician, composer, uh, by the name of Archie Marshall, but he goes by King Cruel.
Mm.
Um, and I've been listening to. He only has three full LPs, um, and
Well, that's not too little, man. Four LPs, that
three three.
three LPs, that's not too bad.
There's a couple, like he's featured in a couple songs from different artists, but in the sense of what he's made, it's unique. Like I said, a lot of stuff that I listen to that I really fall in love with or watch has a unique taste of its own. Like it's very different. And his music always brings me back into just inspiration and just it's a lot. It's just something that I fall in love with, and I would say I listen to all three albums at least a day. Like if I'm working, really hard on sketching and editing on my computer, that's like probably the first thing to go. I'll play the first album and I'll finish and then go to the next one, the next one, then I'll go to some of those features. um but yeah, in the sense, that's where I kind of get a lot of my also inspirations of drawings, because
Yeah,
metaphorically a lot of things he says just kind of I imagine it in my brain, and I kind of like, that
sure.
would be kind of cool to draw or illustrate, or also in the sense of um videography. I His
Sure.
music just kind of
Yeah,
pumps
yeah.
my veins, I
Thing
guess, my
to,
blood.
to touch it, which I think is very interesting. Many times I feel like, or I myself thought that if you see a picture, it inspires you to take pictures. If you see a film, it inspires you to go out there and make videos. But I feel
Yeah,
like it's very interesting to see the fluidity within that. That from music, for example, you can get inspired to draw, to really make get out there, and it's not contained to music, picture to picture. It says,
yeah. So like I said, a lot of the stuff that I enjoy, it's all, I would say, it's mixed together, and it just it's woven in together that just makes me fall in love, and I guess would say pursue a lot more. As of recently, it wasn't like that. A couple of years, it was kind of like they were all their separate things. They were never connected. But now I let it freely touch each other. I'm like, all right, like this is cool, and it's better this way. Um, when I'm filmmaking, like in the process of like taking pictures, whatever, I have music on like all the time, just because it gives me a different view um,
sure.
of the landscape, and it just makes me fall in love with it more, I would say.
Mm. To me that sounds beautiful. I don't know, and to some extent, it's what this kind of project is about, just combining all the arts and really celebrating and appreciating each one by itself, but also the combination that truly becomes. And interestingly enough, it just came to mind, like what it would be a movie or a film without the music to it. Like
Yeah, yeah.
arts are super important in how they mix together. Well, I don't know if you want to say something else about this topic. If not, we can continue. And I was thinking of getting back to you, going back and forth from where you would want to be or where you came from to you right now. What would you say is your background, or what's your story? How did you get to the point where you are right now?
um I would say, uh again, I've always kind of always messed around with all these things. As of recently, like film, like the Super 8 and like videography, that's more recent. That's something that I've wanted to do, but just never really. I was never never clicked in until like hopefully like the beginning of this summer. Uh, Photography, I've always enjoyed it, but like again, it's just like video. I mean, yeah, videography. It's always been there and something I want to do, but just it never really clicked in. But with illustrations and stuff, I've always done it since I was a kid. Just grab a pen, just whatever that I can draw, and even on myself. And I've always, when I first started, I always enjoyed it. But there was a certain point, I would say when high school started, or midway through my junior high, I started like hating my art. I just didn't find
Interesting.
real passion to it anymore. I just started doing less and less, and I just started like I would say freshman and sophomore year were the years I kind of was still there, and then after that, towards the end of sophomore year, I just stopped. I was completely done with drawing. It's something I despise, and I really didn't know why a lot, but I knew I just, because it was my work, I was never satisfied with it. Um, and as of recently, uh, I would say that I've been growing more in that area, and I've been appreciating my art more, or at least liking it. And again, that ties a lot with photography and videography. I would always give myself a hard time with whatever I create, and never really give myself an actual, like actual credit for it. And I think, that's something that, I really needed to change. And like I said, as a currently right now, I'm in a state where a lot of this that I'm doing, I'm I'm not like, I don't hate it, but I can do better. Like
Sure.
there's always I can do better, and I like that better than hating it, destroying it, and just stopping it.
Yeah.
Where now what I do with my sketchbooks and everything that I write, whatever, I normally, like, after I finish it, I look at it and I'll just crumple it up or burn it up or rip it. But now I keep it in an archive, and I'm like, this may come in handy later. This, like, I just look back at my art and I'm like, huh, I actually appreciate this now. And I may not appreciate it right there and then, but you know, it's just I stopped being so destructive with it. And uh I just, like I said, it's just I wanted to be more passionate with it, and um enjoy myself with doing so. And I think that's the other thing that in this topic, when it comes to art and in any form, is um I don't want to feel pressured, and that's what I've been doing. I don't pressure myself to do whatever, but I do push myself to at least sketch a couple sketches like every day, to at least keep that flow going. But yeah, no, I just been working on that, and um
Yeah.
hoping I get better and just practice,
Yeah.
because like I said, practice makes perfect.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. And to that, it came to mind. Well, mostly two things. First, like sometimes in art or in film, uh, the imperfections give it sometimes like the beauty in it, because
Yeah.
you're capturing real life. In real life, most of the time it's not perfect. There's
Yeah,
there's a freaking virus that makes you have to leave school and your friends. And the other thing is, in order to grow, you gotta make mistakes, right? You
yeah,
get perfect the first time.
and that's the thing, that now that you brought that up, is sometimes we may not like our own art, but if other people see
Oh
it,
yeah, for
they
sure.
may see a different thing.
Yeah,
And that's something that I've never really kept in mind. And then like, I have it, and then some of my friends like look at it and like, whoa, this is really cool. And I'm like, really? And then I kind of look at it, I'm like, you're right, this is this
maybe
is
it
pretty
is.
this,
Maybe it
this
is.
is pretty good. Yeah. And so we always look at one side but never look at the other, what people would think. um and so, yeah, I like I said, it's something that I've been working a lot, in the sense of just creating that, expand myself in ways and show people, even though if it's in the process, to get their
Yeah,
feedback.
yeah, for sure. I don't know. It's perspective, man. It's perspective. You gotta. It's like the glass half empty, half full. That type of beat.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Another way we could go is where has your art taken you, or like who have you gotten to meet because of your art, or just because you have that passion, where has your love for music taken you, or where has your love for filmmaking taken you, or stuff like that?
I would say with the filmmaking and photography, like I would say that as just one piece. I
Sure.
would say I've met some people or retouched bases with some old friends that are into photography, and I've just been going out more with different people
Yeah.
and taking photos, and um, there's where I kind of get some of more inspiration. Is I sometimes it doesn't even have to be someone I fully know. It's just someone that is willing to go out around town, take pictures, and compare them, share them, and that's how kind of we communicate. As it's same with art. I share it with some of my friends, privately, kind of get their opinions, and if it's with the project, which is with the clothing and all,
Sure.
it's really helpful because again, it's perspective, and I get to see what people and yeah, I get different. I get out of the box. I would say just step out of the box and try new things. And like you said, it's taking me different areas, new people, new faces. Um, as of recently, like since last month, I would say I've been skating more. It's always been there, but I never really touched it. My brother always had a board, but I was like, this is something I kind of want to do.
Yeah.
And in the sense, I've met some cool people, and it's like, oh man, skating and photography, that's kind of cool. Or
Yeah.
like
Your art
skating,
kind of like connected those two
yeah,
and made you get out there.
yeah, and also in the sense of just also meeting new people. It's something that I would say I've always been bad at.
Mm.
Not I've always not I'm not always the type of guy to go out and you know just talk to random strangers. So that's another factor that's helping me to just kind of talk to more people, make new friends, and make memories, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah.
Well, to follow up with that, what kind of cool stories do you have, or what kind of experiences have you uh, been a part of because of photography, because of filmmaking, because of music?
Um, with music, I would say in the sense of like I would say like I said with a lot of what growing up, a lot of stuff that I was creating, um, I've always been destructive of hated,
Mm, yeah,
and I've just been retouching bases with everything that I've like even the simplest things like acrylic, watercolor. I've always been a pen and pencil person. I've always done pen. I've always hated acrylic. Uh, just because I was never in my area. I like I said, I never stepped out of the box. Um, and just doing so, just it's brought I would say a positive impact in my life, just because the way you can mix colors, and um, it's just a unique thing. And with videography and photography, like I said, I've talked to more people, and just have met new faces. And just has gotten me more opportunities. And there's been people who've asked me, hey, you want to take a photo shoot, whatever. And as I wouldn't consider myself like a legitimate photographer. I think it's just a passion. But when people have come up to me and asked me or text me, I'm just like, whoa, like this is new. Like, never thought I would come this far to with videography, photography. And um, like I said, it's always something new when it comes to when I'm doing something. And like I was mentioning to you a while back, well, yesterday, um, once I'm done printing the first prototypes, I would say of the shirts, I will go to the skate park and meet some new people and take some pictures of them while they're skating and trying out the shirts.
Yeah, yeah, for
And
sure.
so it's just like I said, it's more of a it's brought me out into a new world,
Mhm.
a new way of seeing the world and stepping out. But yeah, yeah,
Well,
that's
well, to follow up with that, going to go a little bit back, well, actually quite a bit back. What is a real photographer, anyways? You know, that's quite contextual. Well, what do
I,
you need to be a real photographer? I feel like anybody who gets a camera or even their phone and just really wants to get some good shots and try their best, I think you're more than halfway there. You know?
yeah, I think if you think you are and you have something to take a picture or whatever, you're there. I don't think you really need to be, I don't think you need to be a specific level, to be a photographer.
Yeah,
Um, I just, uh, again, it's what you think you are.
yeah, yeah,
I don't personally think I'm a photographer, like,
yeah,
like a professional, but in a sense of like when I'm taking pictures with my friends and I'm the person holding camera in the group, I guess I am the photographer,
yeah. I don't know.
But like I said, if you have, it doesn't matter what it is, even if it's like a flip phone with the really crappy, uh, camera. If you think that you can take good pictures and you feel the spark there, then
Yeah,
by all means, you are the photographer.
I like the spark situation. A while ago, a couple of months ago, maybe a year, happened to see a video with an interview with Cole Sprouse, which when I normally say that, people make that face because he's like, oh, the Disney Channel kid or whatever. But I actually really enjoy his photography. I don't know if you ever had
No, yeah, you showed me before.
yeah, but just one of the things he said that really stuck with me is just go out there and shoot. Really, like you'll get better, or you'll enjoy it maybe, and if not, you just get better. But just go out there and shoot.
Yeah,
Shoot
and
shoot cameras, not guns.
yeah, and see, that's the thing. Like that's the point of when you go out, it's just have fun. Like grab your camera, grab some friends, grab whatever that you think that you want to capture in the moment, and just make sure you're having fun. That's the
Yeah,
point. I would say, as in the way I've been reading more books, and just trying to understand different parts of life and everything. But one thing that I've learned more is, or try to draw myself more into is, success is more. It's a bigger. It's to me. I want it to be a bigger part than like the money and all that. If
yeah, for sure.
uh, um, and if you're doing what you love, then you're already a step ahead.
Yeah,
You're getting to that point. Um, but like I said, for a while, I've felt like a broken record because I've always kind of down myself to
yeah,
that. But like I said, if whatever you're doing, even if it's not, um, if it's writing or just again, just if you're trying to do something that you love, just make sure you're having fun.
yeah,
And if that's one thing, if it's there, then and you love you to do it, I would say keep following your dreams. Of course, in the sense, I would say, make sure you have something, if case that doesn't work, make sure you have stuff to to pick yourself back up.
sure.
But I think that's something that um we, as we get older, we kind of forget. We say we want to do something and we want to have our dream job, whatever, but as you get older and you see, the the older people, you see that not a lot of people make it to that actual place. They just get a job that may pay well, but they're not actually happy. And
I think success is really relative. Like, it's not once you make this amount of money, you're successful. Once you have this car or this house, or it's just being happy, really.
Yeah, that's the part with success. You need if you're happy and you're doing what you love, you know, then you're in a good place. Um,
Mm.
but like I said, something that I've also really tried have in my mind more and more as I'm going now to taking pictures or making these projects is stop thinking about the future a lot about what's going to happen next with this project or what's going to happen with this, but live the moment.
Live the
If
moment.
if you're not living the moment, then you're never going to feel completely happy because you're always wanting to strive more, which is not something bad, but
Yeah.
you're not going to feel happy.
Yeah.
And
In this definition, I guess, like not being just living in tomorrow, like being worried about what's next. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. I would
and
almost dare to say, like, why would you even want so much money if you're not even gonna enjoy it? You know?
yeah, yeah, no, I mean, I was like I said, it's money to me right now. It's something that, I mean, because we're entering college, it is something that's going to be needed financially and stuff. But it's not something I want to have as a primary thing in my mind all the time. I don't want to, think about, oh yeah, I got this much money or how much I'm going to spend. It's nice to have it, but if you focus it on too much, you just always want
You get
more or spend more or just, and so
uh
again, to me, that's not my biggest concern.
sure.
I, it is something I do have in mind when it comes to financial situations and other things. Uh, but like I said, there's different parts that I want to focus more in. Like I said, one is better myself in the sense of practice, photography, videography, illustration, and all that. The other part is, like I said, find happiness in it. If I'm not finding, happiness, then I'm doing something wrong with it. I'm not enjoying it. Then, clearly I'm either pushing myself too hard or, there's something completely wrong, right now, because, I'm not saying I'm taking my time very slow. I do pace myself. I kind of balance it. I feel happy where I am when it comes to these things. Of course, there's some things currently with the film that I can't personally, you know,
Manage
do
it.
because
And
of
it's not
COVID.
and it's not perfect. You're never gonna be like 100% there. Like
Yeah,
there's
but where I am right now, I feel very confident with where it is, and
that.
in a sense, I would say I feel like I'm
Good.
still gonna gain something. I'm gonna gain how in the learning process. Uh, like I don't feel like I would really lose much because I'm training myself to learn new programs or see things differently or just like I said, go and discover new things and enjoy the time. If I at least enjoy the moment and have pictures, then I have a plus one right there.
Yeah, I don't know. And like you just said, like you're gonna get stuff. You're gonna learn. You're gonna grow. Today, well, to speak a little bit about myself, I had a job interview, a job application thing, and I would happily could say that I was able to put one or two of my projects in my resume, just in
Really?
the little corner, just in the little corner, the little like social media management, social media production, and now you take away some things that you might not see it right there, but they do take some effect in the future. Uh, Going back from something a little bit philosophical to something more uh, ground centered to you, how would you define your process, or how do you go from an idea to a sketch to a product to a finished work? How is that process for you? Do you have a process? Do you kind of let it flow?
Yeah.
Um,
uh I would say I have many, but for my standard, um again, I have different, to me, I actually have it right here next to me so I can kind of demonstrate if, but here, tiny little book. This is my sketch book, which is literally anything goes, anything. And this is where I kind of learn from this is where I learned to keep my not so I like right now type of art, and
Sure.
where I'm, designing.
The in between kind of stuff.
Yeah. um, right here, bigger book. Um,
But
this is where the actual projects and the for the designs and T-shirts. I don't know if you can really see it, but uh, so
circle is white.
I start writing things down, things that are more, I would say, I need to have in list. And pardon me. Last one. This one is a little more personal.
Sure.
But this one is where I would say if I have um, an illustration or something, but it's more close to me, then it goes to this book. And uh, like I said, I was gonna bring it up at some point, but from this book is where I'm creating another project. It's been in the process, but it's been a little difficult because of COVID and different situation, and because I've been working, so it's been a little hard. But from this, I'm making a zine, which is like a self-published. It's like a magazine, but it's gonna be a half and half uh, photography and illustration, and so
Very cool.
each. So, like I said, this one is more personal in the sense because if I feel something, or if I touch bases with personal stuff that I want to let go, or reprocess it, I draw it in such a way that I myself can see it. But then I go out and take a picture of it in a completely different way or close to it, without any words. And when I do finish this and show it to people, it's going to be more of from their perspective, what they see. It's again, it's it's like me opening up, but they kind of put the pieces together from their view. And that's kind of been a way I've coped um with a lot of this stuff. So in the sense of process, I guess moving back, so because I kind of went off topic. um
That's fine.
I like I said, I do everything on this. Uh, I normally sketch it more than one time. I do have a scanner very close to me right here. It's a big boy. I got it not long ago. It's a Epson V600,
Beautiful.
which is a flatbed scanner that scans negatives too, because I'm gonna be scanning and editing uh, different times my film. But a lot of that I scan it and send it directly to my computer. And I've been normally been only using 2 to 3 different programs when it comes to the design. um and so it'll be either like animation, illustration, and Photoshop. I haven't really touched much of illustration because again, it's very new to me. But I once I get the sketch couple done, I send it. You know, do a couple previews and change the color. Look at, that's the other thing. Like I look at different color patterns and palettes, expand my view and make sure that these colors combine to an extent. And then from there, like I said, I send it normally to a couple of my friends, very close friends that have been really, really supportive about what I'm doing right now, and they give me feedback whether this is okay or this needs to be a lot more sharpened or smooth or thicker. And I work on that. Again, even though I get their feedback, I don't take everything, because if I do that, then I probably wouldn't like my own what the outlook. So I balance it between what I actually enjoy and a good amount of feedback. and from there, I would send it to some locals that screen print here in Walla Walla, and that's how that process goes.
Sure.
For the sense of videography and photography, I don't really try to mess much, or I don't really do much with when it comes to photos. I do use Lightroom, the classic. There's two different ones, but I use the classic, which has been a lot harder for me because there's a lot more.
Yeah.
There's a lot more
Definitely
bigger words that I have to learn, and just
big editing words.
yeah. And so that I mean I've been doing it for a bit more longer, so it's something that it's not too much of a bother. But with videography, I've been using all the programs I use are Adobe, but in the
Creative
sense of in the sense of videography, depending on what I'm doing and what I'm adding, if I'm adding some animation to it, I'm going to use After Effects,
sure.
animation, Premiere Rush, and Premiere Pro,
Yeah.
and just kind of go back and forth. And then again, I tend to listen to music while I'm doing
Sure.
this, so then I can get a different feel every so often. And then if I'm adding a track, well, if I'm already listening to music, it kind of already gives me a vibe to it. And so that's how I calculate that. And normally I spend, I would, depending on what it is, I normally spend a solid 2 to 3 hours a day,
Yeah.
um,
Really.
just to make sure I do a good amount. Even if it's not a lot within those 3 hours, I would say I still, at
Well,
least get
the first
something.
quantity. Yeah. Well, we're gonna give a shout out to whoever can tell us what chromatic aberration means. I don't know. I just clicked the button. I don't know what it means. So shout out to whoever knows who that is. Comment that. Well, that was really interesting to hear about. But now we're gonna move again into something more, I guess, philosophical, or something more, a little bit less constricted, less technical.
Yeah.
This is kind of more like a job interview question. I don't know how you describe this, but what would you say is the most important thing in the work of an artist?
Um,
You say is the most important part of an artist overall.
Man, that's whoa,
That's
that's a
deep
question that I
stuff.
haven't really thought.
We're in the deep stuff now.
I would say again, this is my opinion. Everybody differs, so like, you
Of course,
know,
it's your perspective.
everybody is, has their own whatever their main, but um like I said, one part is, to me right now, one thing is actually enjoying my own art, in the sense of whatever it is. If you're not enjoying it, then what's the point of doing it? You're
Yeah,
just only gonna hate yourself more because you're not liking it. But another thing is, um, I would say another good feeling when it comes to doing your art is getting it shown and getting people's reaction. It's just like I said, it's like a feedback, because people are like, whoa, this is new, or this is nice, or even if it's not a good positive, you're like, huh, maybe I should work on this more. So I would say that's another important one is you know between those two.
very nice, very interesting to hear. Uh, well, this one we talked about your present, what you're doing right now. We talked about where you came from, what inspired you. Where would you want to be in the future? Well, what are you looking forward to? Well,
um
what are you thinking?
well, as of currently, we're entering as freshmen college students.
Oh,
um
it's scary.
I I do plan to go to college. That's what I,
Very nice.
plan to do. Right now, I'm doing e-marketing and design for Walla Walla Community College. Um,
WWCC in the
yeah,
house.
and like I said, it's the closest I would say right now. I would get to what I'm doing, because it
Sure.
does show you how to do some of this stuff in school. And like I said, if it's a career that you actually will enjoy or learn from and use within your career, then by all means, you know um I am planning to do the bachelor's, like a 2 year here, is because it's only a 2 year program. I am planning to, hopefully, if things work out, planning to go to Seattle for the
Seattle.
rest.
Huh?
It's, I would say that's the other thing where I would want my creativity and everything to go is Seattle. It's a place where I've been twice, I would say, but really like
Oh, wow.
once.
Not that many times. And
Yeah,
Washington.
and and
After
I've
that.
the 2 times that I've been there, I've
Yeah.
completely fell in love with it, and
You vibe it.
just it's the atmosphere. I love it, and
That's a spot.
I feel like I would learn more from there, just because I know Seattle itself. It's a very creative location. A lot of my favorite artists were brought from there,
Yeah.
or
Where they came
like, yeah. So a lot of
from.
musicians, I can't speak. So like my man Jimi Hendrix,
Oh,
uh, Carsey Headrest, Naked Giants. I could keep going, but
yeah.
a lot of my top um,
Artist.
favorite artists were discovered there or are from there, and I'm like, it's a place where I fall in love every time I see a picture, and besides the whole tourist and the big like uh like the Space Needle and that, like, that's okay. I that's cool, but I really like the outskirts and the different things it has to offer, and again, the atmosphere itself, I feel very attached to it. And so hopefully, if things work smoothly, I would be going there for the rest. And if I'm still doing with the whole videography, photography, and all of this, or even just one thing,
Yeah.
I would probably pursue that with one of the classes there,
Yeah. Yeah.
and work with other people. And
Yeah.
um, yeah.
Well, catch Francisco's announced film in 5 to 10 years in a theater near you. Uh, well, I don't know. We're getting to the end of it. Do you have any stories that you want to talk about, or anything in special you would like to add, something like that?
Um,
It-
yeah.
it-
I would say um, like I don't know. I was thinking a little bit more as we've been talking. We said where I get my inspiration a lot. I I I, I would say a lot. I would say is not besides the film, the film artists or the musicians. A lot of them I get them from very very close friends, in the sense of just even talking to them.
sure.
It's a motivation to me. It's a boost, I would say. And I don't know if he's gonna hear this, but I would say he's like a mentor to me. But my friend, who also I would call brother, Elijah Alvarado,
Name
he's
drop here. Shout out to
he's he's
Alvarado.
been he's been a very very helpful person with his whole process. He's been, I would say, probably, like I said, he's been a mentor, and he's been helping me with a lot of things. And he's been super supportive. And this man is also doing a lot of stuff, and just seeing him and talking to him, and
Give
getting
you
feedback from
energy.
him,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just pure good vibes. And it's something that I love. Again, I get that from other people. I get that from my other friend Robert. I get a lot of my stupidity kind of ideas, and where another project that I've been sketching now. I also tend to sketch some of my videographies,
Sure.
do a little sketch and kind of plan. And so the next film, I can't really give a date because
No.
it's still in the process, but I would say it's coming pretty soon. Hopefully it won't be as delayed as the senior film, but this one will be
Talking soon.
uh, uh, a very special the year to me because it will be with with my friends, which is going to be a lot more heartwarming to me and
Sure.
enjoyable. But this one will be filmed in a 16 millimeter camera,
Mhm.
which is a step up to Super 8. It has a more cinematic feeling, and
Feel, yeah.
it would be
The colors.
just oh man, it's a beautiful thing. I fall in love every time I see a couple films
Yeah.
by 16 millimeter, but it will be just a couple of goons skating and doing traveling, and that's something that I wanted to do. Of course, I hope it won't be delayed as much as this film of, you know,
Turned out.
and the thing is, the reason why, it's been very delayed is because we had so many expectations to it. We had so many expectations, but we never got close to, all the things to it. But I did try my best towards the end. I didn't give up. I didn't want to give up on it. And that's the thing when I've learned when creating something is don't give up, at least
Keep going.
make sure you're doing your best, but don't force yourself. Just make sure you have it somewhere that you can come back to it and continue.
Mhm.
And so when the whole pandemic hit, I was I would say I was pretty lost because I had footage, but I you know uh not enough that I felt satisfied to just
Sure.
post and be like, all right, this is good.
Fine.
It was just a minimum of half of the year.
Yeah.
And like I said, my wall is just covered with notes and all
Yes.
these different
That
ideas, and
didn't work out.
that didn't work out. And we had one final thing that was
Sure.
my final thing, and that was I was hoping that we would return to school. And of
Mm.
course,
Yeah.
we keep
Well,
getting new different
3 months later, we're here. Yeah.
yeah. And there was the final cut that said there may be a graduation, and that's all I needed to hear. That's
Yeah.
all I needed to hear. I was like, all right, this is a senior film. Graduation is the one thing I also wanted to capture. And so, I ordered film. Hopefully, we'll get it right before, and it did. It came like a couple days right before graduation. I loaded it up. Make sure it had perfect batteries and everything. I'm like, this is it. This is the final crap. And we went to graduation. I mean, of course, you weren't there. Wish you were. Um,
But
but I filmed a lot more, and again, I would have gotten the film today, but I got bamboozled.
I
It's
well,
most likely I would get it tomorrow, and I will be showing some
Friday
of it.
last week.
Yeah, I would be showing some, and because it is the final film, the final cartridges. That means it is coming to a close, and the film will be very soon
Very
posted.
soon. Coming soon.
And so there's a lot of stuff that I filmed even before graduation throughout the time that I feel very happy, I would say.
Sure.
And so uh, I would say it's not perfect. It was never, I never thought we would get it to that, expectation,
Yeah.
but I do feel happy with it. And even though I don't have the full footage yet, I know it's going to turn out good enough to satisfy, people and kind of give them the nostalgic feeling and maybe make me cry because, you know, it
Let's
is our
try.
final year.
I want to try. Uh, well, to finish off, we kind of talked about it a little bit already, but is there anything you want to plug? Is there any projects you're working on you want people to go check out? Is there anything we should be looking out for? Or,
Um,
or what's next for you, Francisco?
well, first of all, I don't know if I've been interrupting a lot with drinking. I've been drinking a
Like,
lot of
you
lot
good,
of
you
juice.
good.
I just been
Hydrated.
I
Hydrated
just
is
been
key.
I just been going at it, and I just been sipping. I was gonna get some nice hot tea, but I
What,
guess they don't have chai tea in Safeway, and I was very mad.
what are you doing, Safeway? What are you doing?
They
What?
they have chai latte. Who drinks chai latte? Nobody. Just chai tea, man. But I think some things I would say that are coming up pretty soon is the 2 drops of the shirts. There may be more, but there are 2 that are officially coming out
Where can
very
we
soon.
find that? Where can we find that?
I'm still working on that because, again, this is, even though this is a project, we don't, or I don't know where it's gonna end up for the first drop. So it would be direct. I would post it. I do have an account called the ETP Projects.
PP
There's nothing,
projects. Go follow on Insta. Links will.
and I will also post it on my main account.
Sure.
But I will have it, I will have it on my stories and everything in the next couple of days, or when this is posted, it probably already be shown, or I'll keep it updated.
Well, this you guys are probably watching this or listening on Sunday, most likely. Yeah, so we'll see how it works out. But yes, stay alert for that coming from.
Yeah, and so it's something that I'm very excited for. Like, again, there's been a few friends that have been very supportive and are already excited and are willing to purchase, which is something even that I never thought would happen, and so that's coming very soon, along with the senior film, which is also coming very, very soon. I will also keep posted on that very shortly, as soon as I get some of the film back. And with the zine, that also is gonna be, I would say that's gonna be more extended. I think that one's more personal, but it will come out within, I would say, within this year. It has a lot of art that I wanna show, along with illustrations.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of things that I'm trying to get out there, even though if I don't feel like there's much, I'm still pushing to it, because like I said, you kind of just need to hustle, and you just gotta feel it, and that's something that I've always kind of messed out. I've always kind of deteriorated myself from it, and now I'm thriving for it. I'm actually enjoying things. So again, a lot of things are coming, but the drop is coming pretty soon.
Well,
And the
so
film.
to summarize, stay tuned for film coming out and for possible clothing drops. Follow EBT projects and Cisco. You'll find their accounts somewhere around that. I don't know where. And yeah, thank you for coming. It was really nice
Thank
talking
you.
to you.
Thank you. It was such an honor.
It
It
was
was
fun getting
hopefully.
to know your process a little bit and just your art overall. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. I hope I didn't mess up this, but
Very nice.
it was such an honor.
Thank you. Bless them. Hey guys, this was the first episode of the Insomnia Overdose podcast. We're still looking for a name, so if you got a suggestion, please comment or DM. That would be pretty cool. I want to apologize for the quality. We're still learning how to work this out, and hopefully with time we can get there. If you would like to come on the show and talk about your passion for some type of art, your inspirations, or something that you aspire to do, please contact us and we'll be more than happy to work something out. Stay tuned for a new episode every Sunday. Other than that, thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.